Matt Holmes with the head of the University of Indianapolis men's and women's tennis programs, John Venner. And Coach, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
You're gearing up right now. This weekend, the women's tennis team will be heading over to Northern Kentucky for the 2011 GLVC Tournament. Just your thoughts on your women's team, and a big week in this last one. You needed to win 2 road matches to get into the GLVC Tournament, and you went down to Kentucky Wesleyan and Bellarmine, a 9-0 and a 7-2 win to kind of get yourself back into the GLVC Tournament.
Yeah, we're really excited, their women played some of the best tennis of their season last weekend, but not surprisingly, we have a large roster, and we've played a lot of girls over the last few matches, and so come tournament time now, we're kind of narrowing down and putting our best foot forward, and that just has made our lineup a little bit stronger, and the girls are really responding well, they're practicing hard, and they played really hard out there this weekend and did a wonderful job.
I know talking to you earlier in the season, you're kind of talking about different players and dealing with illness and injury, especially coming out of the fall and into the dual match portion of your season. Is that part too, people starting to get healthier and where you wanted them to be, physically to play at this point in the season? Yeah,
we had our normal share of the tough breaks here. Maggie Ashby has a broken foot right now, and she's kind of playing through that. We've had some injuries, some nagging things, but with our roster the size that it is, I'm able to rest some players and to get some other players some playing time and some experience, and it's really helped us. And right now I think that we're really looking pretty solid right now, and hopefully more healthy than any other team that we'll face.
You mentioned obviously a big roster, but who are some of the players that you can kind of point to at this point in the season who've stepped up their game to another level?
It's really a team effort. We don't have the kind of team where some teams have a really great #1 player that's just head and shoulders above everyone else in the region, and really a big drop off on their roster. We don't have a drop off. From our 1 all the way down through our lineup, we're really solid, and we really can practice and switch up things, and lower players can push the upper players every day. It's really going to take a team effort. We're probably not going to win our matches consistently just only at the top of our lineup. We've got to have the mid and low people playing really hard too, and our mid and low players really do push every day our top players in our lineup.
Heading over to Northern Kentucky, you're going to open the GLVC Tournament against Drury, the 2nd seed out of the West. You guys are the 3rd seed out of the East. What do you know about Drury's program this year, and what kind of challenges are they going to present for you to try and beat them in advance in the tournament?
Drury's a great program. I mean, traditionally, since they came into our conference about 4 or 5 years ago, their first year, they've only lost 1 conference tournament, and that was to us, which was nice. Their first year they entered, and they've won every year since. They're a fully funded program. They have a lot of players, a lot of international players. They're having a little bit of bad luck this year, so they kind of dropped back a step. Their #1 player is not there from the fall, and they have 2 walk-ons playing 5 and 6. So they are definitely vulnerable. Now, I've seen some results. I've seen them play here, and I know they can play hard. They can win matches, but I've also seen them a little bit suspect to playing a little bit poorly too. So they can be beat. We have the team that can beat them, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to face them.
Well, definitely good luck in that match. I'm going to transition over. The men's tennis season just wrapped up. Obviously, a very tough loss for you guys the final day of the regular season, playing at Bellarmine. The winner of that match was going to make it into the GLVC tournament. Unfortunately, Bellarmine comes away with the 5-4 win in the last match remaining on the court. But overall, what did you think of your season this year for your men's tennis program?
This was an interesting year. We have a lot of youth. No seniors on the team, lots of young people. We had 6 new players this year from last year. So there was a lot of learning to be done in our season. I still think we were very talented. I still think we had the talent to win. We had a lot of bad luck at the end of the season. We had 3 players turn their ankles in the last 2 weeks. We had 1 player, our #1 player, couldn't play at all in the last match, and our 2 player from the fall had to sit out the whole spring with an illness. So even with those kind of tough losses, we still competed hard. We were right there to the final match. That was a big seesaw match, which doesn't happen a lot in tennis, but we were up after doubles and then got behind after singles, and then it looked like we were going to pull it out 5-4, and then it went down to a 3rd set with the match tied at 4-all, and it just didn't happen for us. So I'm really optimistic about the guys working hard and bonding more and coming together for next year and doing really good things.
Who were some of the players on your men's tennis team who you felt really stood out to you this season?
Again, we're really deep, and we got to win it with the lower players. You'd have to recognize Trevor Cox. He's a freshman. He played a lot of 2 singles and started out with some 1 doubles, played all through our doubles lineup. Ended up at 3 doubles where he won several matches in a row. Played 1 singles, very strong, won a great match against a good player in his last match of the season, which is always nice to do. He's a really dangerous player for our opponents. Tough to play against, so he's probably the biggest standout right now.
With all these guys coming back and no seniors, kind of what do you tell them and going forward into the summer? Kind of where do they go from here to be ready to come back in the fall and ready to go?
Yeah, the summer's really going to make our team. That's a lot of months where the coaches have to have hands off in tennis. You can't have any organized practices or workouts. So it's about how bad do they want to get better. And we played a lot of nationally ranked teams this year. Our schedule was very tough, and we hung with nearly every team. We were right there fighting and beating teams. We beat the #1 team in our region in the doubles, and we can play with all these teams. The difference is that little extra individual work that they're willing to put in the off season. That will make a tremendous difference.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for the time, and again, good luck on Friday in the GLVC Women's Tournament, where the Greyhound women's tennis team will take on Drury at Northern Kentucky.